Have you ever walked out of a meeting, totally convinced you knew what a project needed, only to find out weeks down the line that you were solving the completely wrong problem? Yeah, we've all been there. Well, that's exactly what we're going to tackle today. We are breaking down the stakeholder interview, a skill that, when you get it right, can literally make or break your entire project.
And look, the difference is just night and day. A poor interview, it sends your team on a total wild goose chase, burning through time and money on features that nobody actually needs. But an effective one? Wow, it's like being handed a treasure map. It builds trust and points you straight to the real needs that are going to make the project a huge success.
So let's reframe how we think about this. It's not just another meeting to check off your list. It's a strategic elicitation technique, which is just a fancy way of saying your job is to draw out the truth. It's your chance to get past the surface-level stuff like, I want a button here, and really uncover the fundamental problem they're trying to solve.
To really master this, we're going to walk through a super clear three-phase process. So let's start right at the beginning, with the phase that honestly determines your success before you even say a single word.
This is the preparation phase, and I'm telling you, this is where most of the magic happens. The interview is usually won or lost right here, long before you ever sit down with your stakeholder.
The prep phase kind of breaks down into three simple, logical steps. First, you figure out who you're talking to. Then you define what you actually need to get from them. And only then, after you've done that, can you craft the kinds of powerful questions that are going to get you there.
So doing your homework just means understanding the person on the other side of the table. What's their official role? How much sway do they actually have? A quick look at an org chart or even their LinkedIn profile can give you so much context about their perspective, what they might be worried about, and what they truly care about.
Now, when it comes to your questions, there is one golden rule. Avoid any question that can be answered with a simple yes or no. Your goal here isn't just to get an answer, it's to start a story. You want them to open up and share all the details you would never have even thought to ask about.
For example, this is one of the most powerful questions you can ever ask. What does success look like for you on this project? See? This question instantly cuts through all the technical jargon and gets right to their core motivations. It reveals their personal and professional goals, and that is the most valuable information you could possibly hope to get.
Okay, you've done your homework, you've crafted some brilliant questions. Now it's game time. Let's move into phase 2, the interview itself.
This is the execution phase. This is where all that prep work pays off, and it's where your people skills are really put to the test. The goal is to turn this thing from a formal meeting into a natural, really productive conversation.
And this right here, this is the most important mindset shift you can make. You're not there to grill them with a checklist of questions. You're there to have a conversation. That approach builds trust, and it makes the stakeholder feel comfortable enough to share what's really on their mind.
Active listening is basically your superpower in this phase. Pay close attention to their tone. Are they really enthusiastic about a certain feature? Do they seem a little hesitant when they talk about a specific process? Those little nonverbal cues often tell you way more than the actual words they're saying.
Here's a pro tip that feels a little weird at first. Learn to embrace the silence. After you ask a really good, tough question, just wait. Don't rush in to fill the pause. Give them a moment to actually think. That brief silence often leads to the most thoughtful, valuable insights of the entire interview. Trust me.
So, the interview went great. You had a fantastic conversation, and you're feeling good about it. But hold on, the job isn't done yet. In fact, this last phase is what makes sure all that great work doesn't just evaporate into thin air.
Welcome to the follow-up phase. Look, all that amazing information you just gathered is totally useless if it isn't documented, validated, and actually put to work.
This workflow after the interview is so simple but so powerful. You start by getting everything out of your head and onto paper right away, while it's all still fresh. Then, you circle back with the stakeholder to make sure you heard them correctly. And finally, you combine that confirmed info with everything else you know to see the whole big picture. This step, sending a summary back to the stakeholder, is absolutely non-negotiable. It does two incredibly powerful things at once. First, it lets them correct any misunderstandings so you know your data is accurate. And second, it shows them you are really listening and that you value their time. It's a huge trust builder.
So, you see, when you really master these three phases, the prep, the execution, and the follow-up, the interview stops being just a task on your to-do list. It actually transforms into something way more powerful.
Because in the end, you're not just collecting a list of requirements, you're building a relationship. And when you build that trust, you stop being just another person on the project, and you become a true partner. And guess what? Partners get the real story. So I'll leave you with this final thought. A document can tell you what somebody wants, but only a great conversation can tell you why. And that why, that's where the most valuable insights live. So the next time you have an interview on your calendar, ask yourself, are you just there to check off some boxes, or are you there to find the why?